It's the hands of Anna Walker again. Hello, welcome to the studio of Stab Things into Existence. And here is another felting machine. Remember Tuesday, on Tell Me Tuesday, I talked about my Husqvarna, my HR, I think 30, I still haven't figured it out, machine that I bought years ago for $100. I absolutely adore it. This machine is called the AddiQuick Hobby, a turbo felting machine. I have seen some other types of handheld needle felting machines in the past couple of years. I got this one about 5 years ago, and I got it because I thought, okay, maybe it'll work. But I'm here to tell you that I think the pictures that they utilize are a little misleading, only because this sucker is has the potential for being quite a dangerous tool when we're talking about turbo speed and no holder that surrounds, no protective cover that surrounds the needle when it's working, and they show it really close to fingers on small sculptures, and I'm not sure, at least in my view, that the applications that they show are actually the best. So let me take the box away. In the box you get the plug and you get the machine itself, you get a handful of needles, and you get this little instruction booklet. Now I'll show you the pictures here. They do a good job, but if you're trying to hold on to anything that you're working with, you really need to remember Anna's first rule of needle felting: always know where your non-stabbing hand is, because if a regular felting needle comes through your hand, it hurts. If this goes through, you don't know how many times it's going to go through before you're able to go ouch and pull your hand away. So with that being said, let me show you how it works. It's going to get noisy in here. That's one of the downfalls of this. So you've got an on-off switch here, and I've got my felting foam right here, and I have a sculpture that I played around with tightening up the felting on one side. I'm going to flip it over to the back side where it's still a little squishy and give you a little tutorial here. I'm going to see if I can pull this a little bit closer. There we go. So you've got the on-off switch. You have the, a couple of little knobbies that you can use to help you hold on to this. You're going to want to have a really good grip on this, because when it gets started, and I'm going to, can you see that needle that's just ratcheting up and down so fast that it's a blur? And I told you it was loud, right? So it is very loud. Excuse me. Because it has got a motor on it, you're not going to want to use this for a long time at all, because your hand that's holding it is going to get a little bit of vibration action. Now, if you try and use it shallowly, it doesn't really do a whole lot. The whole idea of this is to get that needle all the way embedded inside whatever you're working on. And you can see that this means you can't see where that needle is. Now, it does a really good job. I'm going to turn this off here in a second so that I can show you how it has gone over this area. Let's turn it off because, man, it is really loud. But you can see it does a really good job of felting in those items. But because the needle, and remember, our felting needles, the business end is about 1 inch long. Well, that's the part that you're not seeing on this that has to be completely embedded before it really does a good job of felting. Excuse me again. So one, not only are you not able, unless you're really good at judging where that distance is, not able to keep your non-stabbing hand safe, but you're also, pardon me, let me take a drink of my coffee. But you're also not able to follow Anna's second rule in needle felting, and that is, no, third rule in needle felting, sorry, I got it mixed up. That is not change the direction of your needle when you're in the middle of the fiber. Well, when you're using this tool, your needle is always in the fiber. So the breakage on these Addi-Quick needles is going to be rather high. Now, again, just like the other needle felting machine, you want to move slow. It does allow you, because it's a single needle that's handheld, it allows you to really get into some smaller areas to tighten things up. But again, those couple of rules that are my rules in needle felting, I think are important rules. One, they keep you safe because you're keeping your hand away from the stabbing end, the business end of the needles. But the other one is that you're making sure that you're not breaking off a needle when you're moving it through your felted item. And because you don't see any of that felted item, and I'm going to go really deep here, because you can't see, I mean, there is none of the needle that is evident here. I could be working this back and forth, and if that needle tip breaks off, it's going to be very deeply into the center. And I did this on purpose so that you could see this. It does a really good job. I mean, it can really get down in there and get some solid felting on there. But for me, this was I had to find out if it was worth the expense. And if you were only using it every once in a while, I mean, I don't have neuropathy in my hands, but I do have arthritis in my hands. And even just that short amount of time, I am noticing that I am feeling it in my wrist and in my hand just a little bit. If I were to work on something for even as long as 15 minutes, this could be a repetitive stress injury that could cause you problems. So, this is, again, a personal reference, a personal recommendation. It's not worth the expense of the $125-ish, I think, that I spent on this. I don't think that the benefits outweigh the potential issues. Now, another part of the problem for this, while you can find needles for my other machine fairly easily and at a pretty decent price, and again, they're felting needles that have been cut off at a certain length so that they'll fit into my felting machine. Addi-Quick needles and I've not tried these. I've not tested out if it's a big deal or not. But Addi-Quick needles are specific to the Addi-Quick machine, and they say in the instruction book, first, they only say coarse and fine needles. That doesn't tell you anything. The coarse needle looks like it's about a 36, and the fine, maybe a 40. Hard to tell. Again, that's not how we size needles. We don't size needles coarse and fine. We don't size, oh, it does say, excuse me, I apologize. The coarse needle is a 32 gauge. This at least gives you this, and the fine needle is a 38 gauge. So the coarse needle, really, really, really coarse. I don't know of how many applications for a size 32 needle you're going to have. Size 38, sure, you'll have a lot of applications for that. But if you use anything other than the Addi-Quick needles in your Addi-Quick tool, it can negate your warranty. Now, it's only a limited warranty. I have far exceeded the time on the warranty, but truthfully, I have only toyed with this. I have not used it for any long period of time, and that's because I felt what was happening in my body when I'm using the machine, and seeing how I can't keep an eye on the needle when it is in the middle of the felting, and how we're changing directions of the needle with the needle completely within the felting. This has not been a tool that I've really used. Now, it is good that the needle pulls into the shaft here when it's turned off. But again, my personal opinion, I don't think that these handheld machines are worth the expense unless you have a way to, and you're extraordinarily talented in knowing where your non-stabbing hand is when you can't see the needle, and unless you are very careful when you're using the machine so that you don't break off needles. So my personal opinion, pass on this one. My Husqvarna machine, absolutely. Get one of those if you're doing any kind of flat felt on a regular basis. It will save you bundles of time and make your felting go faster. The AdiQuick, I'm sorry, it doesn't pass muster for me. But again, that's my opinion. We all have one. You can consider mine interesting but irrelevant if you wish. And anyone who wants to borrow this and try it out for themselves, you know, just hit me up. But yeah, this is one that will very, very infrequently be used in my felting practice, and one that I really don't think is worth the expense. I've seen some other handheld machines, and while I could give them a try, my experience with the AdiQuick has me hesitant to try any of the other handheld needle felting machines that are out there. Some of them are rather gun-shaped. They do the same kind of thing. They have an electrical source. They go very, very fast. They are motorized. And while I don't know if they are like the AdiQuick, where you have to have the needle completely embedded in whatever you're working on, I don't know that for sure. I don't know that they have special needles that are specific to them alone, like the AdiQuick does. I do know that holding a mechanized device in your hand for a long period of time is not recommended by anybody. So I would hesitate. Again, my opinion, I could be wrong, but I'm not for me. So save yourself some money on the AdiQuick and buy the Husqvarna ER10. ER10, that's what it is. It's the Husqvarna ER10. You might have to find one on eBay. They are tough to find. Husqvarna does not make them anymore that I've been able to find, but another company may have picked them up. I honestly don't know. I'm just very glad that I have my Husqvarna machine, and this one, I might use it every once in a while, but doesn't happen. I mean, this is the third time I've had it out in 5 years, and I've used it for about the same amount of time that I've used it here on the live today. So that should tell you more than anything else. That is all I have for today for Tell Me Thursday. Next week on Tell Me Tuesday and Tell Me Thursday, we'll talk about the other felting machine that I have in this studio, and that is my gentle roller machine. And I will do my best to have a project that I can put on the machine by Thursday, but probably not Tuesday. Tuesday I'll just give you an overview of the machine, and then Thursday hopefully I will let you see it in action. So until tomorrow, which is Fan Friday, I will see you all later. We're having a snow day here, and we're going to stay warm and cozy indoors. So I will talk to you all tomorrow. Thank you for being here, and thanks for listening to my review of the AdiQuick. Talk to you later. Bye.